Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Shed, hashtag Irish Blues Mafia with me, Trevor. You're very welcome along. We've had a nice day today so far, so we can't complain. Um, Getting closer to summer, still a bit chilly, but dry, so not too bad. So we'll take that. You're very welcome along to tonight's show. What I'm going to discuss tonight or talk about was something I just read there earlier today, and I didn't read the full article because I said I would do my own work and give my own opinion on it. And after this, then I'll read the article and see what they say. But the question was, can our offense be Super Bowl challenging without Stefon Diggs this coming season? So I looked into it, and I looked into the guys that we will have and their numbers from last year. Now, I'm not a very big number person. I'm more on performance and watching how they play during games. But I know most of the NFL is stat and number driven. So I'm going to give a few bit of numbers, but not too much. I won't play into it too much. It's not my style. So the 2023-24 season, Stefon Diggs, if I take the emotion of what I think about it out of it and just look at how he played, well, up to the London game, he was outstanding, to be honest. His numbers were perfect. His touchdowns were, as good as any wide receiver in the NFL. His yards were. And then it's like, not directly after, but a week or two after the London game, it's like somebody just pushed him off a cliff and down he went. Now, I know there was underlying things there in the background that might be 20 years' time before they're let out, or someone might write a book or something like that about it, but there was, and you could see it, and anyone that has a nose in their face could see that there was issues in the background between Stefon Diggs, Josh Allen, Stefon Diggs, Sean McDermott, Stefon Diggs, and whoever else wasn't on the Stefon Diggs bandwagon. And I've always said that when he said, "I am him," that's fine being him when you have the proof in the pudding. But the proof in the pudding fell out the window about week 6, 7 of the 2023 season, and I am him was no longer there. So he's gone to the Houston Texans, and the Houston Texans have an awesome looking offense, including Stefon Diggs. And I would not be surprised if Stefon Diggs has a wonderful year in 2024 because he is playing for himself. He's also playing for the Texans, but the Texans only have a 1-year deal with him, and then he's a free agent. And he wants to get to the Dallas Cowboys. So if he puts in a good year, he'll get to his brother, I think Trayvon is his name, and he'll get to him at the Dallas Cowboys. All going well in Stefon Diggs' world. So he has everything to play for, except he has a rake of quality wide receivers there battling for the ball, and CJ Stroud will have to spread it out. But we're not here to talk about the Houston Texans, and we're not really here to talk about Stefon Diggs' future. We're going to talk about, will our offense be Super Bowl challenging without him? So let's just go into small bit of numbers. So I have himself, Kahil Shakir, and Curtis Samuel, who was at the Commanders last year. So now, just for the record, Curtis Samuel did not have Josh Allen thrown to him. Call a spade a spade. He did pretty well for what he had. But anyway, receptions. So Stefon Diggs had 107. Kahil Shakir had 39, and Curtis Samuel had 62. Targets. Stefon Diggs had 160. Kahil Shakir 45, and Curtis Samuel 91. And then yards. Stefon Diggs had 1183, which is very good. Kahil Shakir had 611, and Curtis Samuel had 613. So very similar in yardage. Then, yards per reception. Stefon Diggs was 11.1, Kahil Shakir was 15.7, and Curtis Samuel was 9.9. The longest run, Stefon Diggs had a 55-yarder, Kahil Shakir had 81, and Curtis Samuel at 37. 20 plus yard receptions. Stefon Diggs had 19, Cahill Shakir had 17, and Curtis Samuel had 7. So Cahill Shakir is matching Stefon Diggs for some similar things like that. Touchdowns. Stefon Diggs 8, Cahill Shakir 2, Curtis Samuel 4. Now, I'm only giving you Curtis Samuel's numbers just for the sake of it, because really you can't judge him when he hadn't Josh Allen firing the ball at him. But his numbers were okay. Now you say, well, Stefon Diggs' numbers are very good as well, to a point. And yes, they are, until you go to this. So the last 10 games of the year, and I'm only doing Cahill Shakir and Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs had 68 receptions. He was targeted 80 times. Cahill Shakir was targeted 37 times. And that's only 8 more targets than he had been given in the first 8 weeks. Yards. Stefon Diggs had 422 yards and had 3 touchdowns after week 6. Cahill Shakir had 462 yards and had 2 touchdowns. So Cahill Shakir matched and bettered Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs had 761 yards and 5 touchdowns more in the first 6 weeks of the year than he did for the last 10. Into the playoffs, Stefon Diggs had 0 touchdowns. 0 touchdowns. And the one important ball that was thrown to him for I am him was dropped. And it wasn't that it was great defending. He was clean through if he just caught it. If he wasn't your number one receiver, and that was Cahill Shakir that dropped it, and on that night against the Chiefs, Cahill Shakir didn't drop anything, then, you're looking at, he's the number 3, why is he throwing to him? He threw to the number 1 receiver, and the number 1 receiver, who should have been on his bike and heading for the end zone, dropped the ball. So, what does that mean to me? So, as a fan, as a supporter, Stefon Diggs was very important for the first 5 or 6 weeks of 2023 season and did perform. He was very important for the last 10 to 12 weeks and didn't perform, but yet wasn't happy. Cahill Shakir was a nobody coming into the 2023 season and ended up being our best receiver ahead of Gabe Davis as well. So I'm going to look at who we're going to have this year as our 3 wide receivers. Well, we're going to have Cahill Shakir. He'll probably be the number 2 receiver, if not number 1. For this purpose, I'm just going to put him in as the number 2 receiver. Because for me, the number 1 receiver is our draft pick, Keon Coleman. Why is Keon Coleman our number 1 draft pick? Our number 1 draft pick, our number 1 wide receiver? Because he is our future. He's a guy that will have to earn his stripes, but he's coming in with a higher reputation into the team than what Cahill Shakir did when he came to the team. He has 50 receptions in college last year. He had 658 yards with an average of 13.2. His longest was 58 yards and he had 11 touchdowns. If he gets 11 touchdowns for the Bills this year and Cahill Shakir can improve on what he did last year, we are going places. Then you have Curtis Samuel, and I wouldn't call any of them 1, 2, or 3 as such, because I think all 3 of them will be playing major parts in the season. So Stefon Diggs had 1183 yards. If you add Cahill Shakir, Curtis Samuel, and Keon Coleman's yards last year, they were all between 611 and 658. So they're all 3 are averaging out the same yards. Stefon Diggs had 107 receptions. Well, Keon Coleman had 50. So if you doubled Keon Coleman's receptions, his yards, I think, will double. He's a big, strong powerhouse. He's a guy that's really interested in playing, wants to play. He has a beautiful personality, and I'm delighted he's a Buffalo Bill player. But he's got Josh Allen. Like, there's only one Josh Allen, and we're lucky he's our quarterback. Curtis Samuel will improve. I don't think he might get 60 to 70 receptions, but I think he'll be, you know, a lot more effective for us because he's got Josh Allen thrown to him. Khalil Shakir, he will get more receptions. He was 39 last year for the full season. I reckon he'll be 80 to 100. And that's three pieces. And you're taking out Gabe Davis and Stefon Diggs. And yes, Stefon Diggs has had the number over previous years. And good luck to him at Houston. But when it mattered at the end of the last season, which is the one we're talking about, and right till this minute is the most important season until this one starts, then he didn't deliver. And would he deliver for us this year if he was a Buffalo Bill? I don't think so. I think there's too much water under the bridge between all the behind the scenes stuff for him to go out and say, I care about this enough to put everything on the line. At Houston, I think he might do that because he is thinking of the Dallas Cowboys 2025. And he'll also say he's thinking of the Houston Texans, but I believe that when I see it. Anyway, so we're going to go from the lineups from the end of this season gone to the start, projected lineups to the start of this season coming. So our quarterback, we've Josh Allen. And we'll have Josh Allen, please God, for the week one of the season onwards. So there's no difference there. For me, the best quarterback in the league, and I don't care if Mahomes has the rings. For me, Josh Allen is number one. Running back, we've James Cook. And James Cook was used a lot like a Christian McCaffrey in ways last year. And I think he'll be used a lot more in a Christian McCaffrey way this year. He did drop a little bit last year, but I think he will improve. And James Cook is a quality running back. And last year, his brother was linked to come to us, but he went to the Jets. And I'm delighted he didn't because James Cook really performed where he didn't. He moved on. Our wide receivers. So, yes, Stefon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and Khalil Shakir. This year, you have Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, and Curtis Samuel. And you might have Chase Claypool. He's looking well at training. Hopefully he keeps his head on and he's there. And he would be another brilliant weapon if he can cop himself on to come into the team. But we just take the top three for the minute. So Keon Coleman, I have faith in this guy. I believe in this guy. And I hope I'm right. I do think he will be the man with Josh Allen. Khalil Shakir, I do believe will improve and improve and improve. And he's a player that can go forward and bring us forward. And Curtis Samuel is like Chase Claypool in a way. He's getting a huge opportunity. He needs to perform. So let's see, can he do it? Then at the tight end, we have Dalton Kincaid this year and last year. And Dalton Kincaid is only going to get better. And then we have Dawson Knox. And I think Dawson Knox will be a big time player for us this year because he was injured last year with his wrist. He's coming back. And I think he's fully fit, and a fit Dawson Knox is a dangerous Dawson Knox to the opposition. And like, you can look at any other roster in the NFL with an offensive attack force like that, and you do well. Like, you'll have players that might be a bit stronger here or there, but as a unit, Josh Allen, James Cook, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, they would put the fear of God in any defense when they line up in different formations during the season. We just have to make sure that we are taking the most of our opportunities when we get them, and we punish teams when we get the chance to punish teams. So do I think our offense can be Super Bowl challenging without Stefon Diggs? 100% yes. Not a doubt in my mind. If Stefon Diggs had continued on his performance from his first 6-7 weeks of last year to the end of the season, and then he left, well, you might be a little bit more nervous, but we had to contend for the last 10 to 12 games of last year with Stefon Diggs, who had his head somewhere else, but it wasn't playing football. And I think when Ken Dorsey left, Joe Brady seen this, and Joe Brady went to Khalil Shakir because he knew he was going to get more out of Khalil Shakir than he was going to get out of Stefon Diggs. Now we've added Curtis Samuel and maybe Chase Claypool. I hope he does perform because there was a brilliant wide receiver there and he keeps his head in the ground and listens to people and works for the team. But if he doesn't, don't want him, out with him. That's how I look at things. I want team players. Keon Coleman coming in, he's a guy that has, will have a bit of weight on him. He's a rookie. There will be a few errors here and there, but as long as he continues doing what he's doing, give it 100%, he'll get there. Then you've got James Cook, another man that will, as I said, improve. There is a Christian McCaffrey in him where you can throw the ball to him. That's his only weakness for me so far, as he drops the ball on simple things, not hard catches, simple catches. He needs to get that out of his game if he can, because he does get into positions. So if he can hold on to the ball when it matters, he'll only get better. You have Dalton Kincaid, who, is a tight end that I think in years to come will challenge Travis Kelce and Gronk. Kowski, that used to play for the Patriots, as one of the best tight ends in the game, amongst others. Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox can get his name back into the big time this year and, show the world that he is also a top tight end. And if you said, could you trade any of them for anyone else out of that unit to make the unit better, I'm happy with that unit. I trust Joe Brady and I trust Sean McDermott, and that unit fit will take stopping. Whether you're the Chiefs, whether you're the 49ers, it doesn't matter. Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens. Try stop that unit when it's fit. I don't think you will. So that's my thoughts on, do I think our offense can be Super Bowl challenging without Stefon Diggs? It's only theory at the minute. It's only a thought. We won't know until week 1 onwards for the 2024 season. But I'm not, if I look at the two offensives that we had from this year to last year, I'm happier without Gabe Davis. And I'm also happier without Stefon Diggs. And nothing personally against them. I wish them both well at Jacksonville and Houston. And I think they'll both have good seasons. But I think we're more of a closer up unit that we have right now than what we did before. So I'm happy. So that's my video for tonight, folks. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to be running a couple of competitions over the next few weeks, so stay tuned. I'm going to give away a hoodie or two and maybe a mug or two, and if we have the people involved, we'll have a bit of crack. And for the start of the season, I'm also going doing predictions, week by week predictions. At the end of the season, I'm going to have a hoodie made with Irish Bills Mafia, and that you are the predictions champion for the 2024 season. And it'll only run from week 1 to 18. It won't go into the playoffs, but I'll explain more as the weeks go by. So that's everything from me now for tonight. So until Thursday night, I wish you a happy week and hope everything goes well. Stay safe, stay happy. And as always, my friends, go Bills.